Hello everybody, my name is Paul and amateur radio call sign is OM0ET. I'm from Slovakia and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the ATS-25 Max decoder. This video will be about the overview of the features, and this video will be about how this radio sounds like in a real outdoor conditions like this. And if you wish to find a link for the purchase of this radio, you can find it down in the video description. So I hope that you will enjoy this video and keep watching. So the radio comes with this package, and inside you can find this colorful printed manual written in English. This is cloth for cleaning the radio or the screen, and in this bag you can find the Wi-Fi antenna, also 4 pieces of the rubber feet. Then we have a touch pen, because the screen is the touch panel. And here is the USB-C cable, which is the charging cable and also data cable. This is the whip antenna with the B and C connector, and the radio itself perfectly protected inside the foam. So thumbs up for the packaging of this radio. Well, so the ATS-25 Max decoder is actually a latest model of the ATS-25 series. You can find many others on AliExpress, on internet. They were made in China, and they are based actually on Arduino project. So the internal menu system is very similar to an ATS-120 I reviewed in my previous video, and therefore I will overview just the features which are a little different than on 120, and also I will tell you what is worse, what is better than the 120 by my opinion, of course. So you can see that the shape actually, or the form factor of the ATS-25 is something like a mobile radio. It's not actually a pocket radio, it's just a kind of mobile form factor radio. So this radio receives the short waves and also FM broadcast. It doesn't have an airband and doesn't have a 2 meter or 70 centimeters, so you can listen long waves, middle waves, short waves, ham radio bands on the short waves, CW, and the FM broadcast stations. The radio has an internal 3000 milliamp hour battery, LiPo, of course, and it has a really large display, and what is very good, it has also a large tuning knob. The casing of this receiver is made of aluminium alloy, so it's pretty sturdy, and also it actually shields internal components against the outer electromagnetic smoke. Okay, here on top you can see also the speaker with holes, and on the back side you can notice 2 antennas actually. So this antenna is for Wi-Fi, and this antenna is just vertical whip. The connector on it you can see is the BNC connector. And of course on the Wi-Fi antenna there is a SMA female. The Wi-Fi antenna is included in the package, And here you can see the USB-C connector, which you can charge the battery, and also you can upload a new firmware from the developer. So here we have the power switch, and here is the phone output, or for the speakers or for the headphones. This is actually a switch for an antenna, but the radio itself has kind of auto switch, so you should stay with, or you should leave the switch in auto position, and I think that it's gonna be good without switching. Okay, so here you can see the bottom of the radio. As you can see, this 4 rubbers. I will show you how I put the rubbers to the bottom part of the receiver. For proper mounting of the rubber feet, we need an ethanol alcohol, a piece of paper and a ruler. Degrease the underside of the receiver with ethanol, and mark 1 centimeter from each side around the corner of the paper. Mark a corner of the template into each corner of the radio with a small dot. And then finally stick the feet on marker in each corner of the radio. Each dot will be right in the center of the feet. Perfect. The ATS-25 Max-Decoder has an original firmware made by a Russian guy. I call it a developer from Russia, and inside this rig is actually a purchased code or the key from this Russian guy. It's very easy to purchase. I think it costs just about €9, and you can pay it via the PayPal. So let me turn on the rig. So you can see the bootloader here. And the radio detects that it has a new version after you connect the radio to your local Wi-Fi network, which is actually a very good feature. So, as you can notice that this receiver has actually very similar firmware screen like the ATS-120 I reviewed previously in my older video. So I would like to explain just a new features which are different from the ATS-120. If you wish to see an overview of all features in this radio, you can visit and watch the previous video where I was talking about the ATS-120. I will say that the features are almost the same over here in the ATS-25 as well. The very good thing, and this is gonna be my next video project, that I found that this guy, the same guy from Russia, made also a firmware, the same firmware as here in 25, also for ATS-120. So I can upgrade my 120 to a better firmware like this. So finally, the ATS-25 Max-Decoder has a fully functional RDS feature in FM broadcast band. You can see the RDS actually right here in this line. Here is the name of the radio station, and here you can see the text of the RDS rolling from the right to the left side. This feature was not properly working on the ATS-120 first version. And the next very interesting feature is the Wi-Fi ability to search for the networks. If you connect your radio to a network, here in this corner of the screen you will find a color dots or a small indicator which indicates a propagation on your current band. So we'll show you how it works. Actually, you have to go to setup and to find a setup Wi-Fi feature. Wireless, you have to switch to on, and then you have to save these settings. When the settings is set, you can see the Wi-Fi indicator right here, but the radio is not connected to your Wi-Fi. You have to go back to the setup, and here you can see the list of the select AP or access points. So here, if you go to this list, you should find your network. Like here, I created a test net for this video. So if you click to this network, and if you put the password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and set, and the radio should connect to this network. Exit and exit. You see this little indicator is turned to the green. If you wish to confirm that the connection is successful, you have to go there, and you see here the test net, and you can see also the IP address, so which means that the receiver is connected. Okay, now if you go to, for example, ham band, like let's say 20 meters, and here appears a green indicator. This green indicator is actually showing us that we have a good propagation at that daylight time. I think that this indicator is loading data from some kind of internet server. I don't know where from, but it is here. If you go, for example, to let's say 10 meters, you see that 10 meters is right now in the red, which means that there are no propagation, or should not be a propagation by this prediction. If we go to let's say 15 meters or 12, let's say 12, yeah, it's still red. If we go to 15 meters, it's green. So 15 meters is green. So there is also, I think, an orange and also a yellow dot indicator. The green is the best and the red is the worst. Okay, another very interesting feature, and I think the most interesting feature on the ATS-25 Max-Decoder is actually decoding of the digital signals. I'm currently on a 20 meter band, FT8 portion of the band. As you can see, it's a 14074, and if I wish to decode the signal, I have to go to mode, and you see that the mode section is kind of different than on 120. So here we have a digi, and here we can see a features or the modes of the digital modes, and those with black color are ready to use. RTTY HEL and RTTY, the lower sideband, upper sideband for RTTY are kind of greenish. They are also working, but the gray features like PSK, JT9, JT65 and SSTV, like here, they are not available right now. So the developer says that he is preparing those features for the next firmware upgrades. So we have to go to the FT8 mode, and we are ready to decode. Let's turn on the volume. And here we can finally see a screen, kind of the waterfall. And our radio should decode some FT8 signals right here in this box here on the bottom. It's also very important to say that if you wish to decode the signals on FT8, firstly you have to connect this receiver to your network, to internet, to get the UTC time here. The radio will synchronize the UTC time from an internet, and after that you can receive the FT8 signals and decode them. For the better reception, I connected this receiver to my magnetic loop antenna MC20, which is right next to the radio. And here is this internal antenna, the whip antenna, which I used previously. You can see and notice that the signal is coming much stronger, and the first decoded signals or signal appear here on the screen. I made another recording for you. Okay, so the next feature of this receiver, it has a new kind of the S meters or the indicators right here under this frequency readout. If you click on this S meter, which is the bar S meter, you can find also here the analog kind of old school S meter, which is also very nice. I like it very much here in this radio. And if you click on this screen, here you can see the spectrum scope with the waterfall underneath. The spectrum scope is just within the audio spectrum, is not actually a frequency spectrum of this receiver. And if you click again on this screen, you will find a spectrum screen here. Very also nice feature of this new firmware. And also the menu system is different. There were added some new features in the menu system. If I go to the beginning, on the first list you can find the RDS time. So that means that the radio is able to synchronize the time from the RDS, I believe it. Then we have the FM band start in 64 MHz. This was also in 120 version. This is also the new feature, the save step individual 4 band. This is very good thing. The RBDS program type, I don't know what is this, but maybe you know and you can tell me down in the comments. On the list number 2 we can find a frequency digit backlight. I'm not using it. Highlight the frequency in SSB in color if the BFO is not 0. I'm not using that as well. And 24-hour time format. English language is pre-installed here in this version of the firmware, and in my next video, where I will show you how to update this receiver, I will tell you how to load also another languages into this receiver. Well, the next list you can see define the new feature, the retro S meter or the audio spectrum. If you switch to the S meter, the audio spectrum is off, and vice versa. The battery value in volts, this was also possible on 120. Screensaver or display light off in screensaver, this is also the same thing. The wait time and screen orientation is able to change on this receiver. The scanner settings also the same. The memory list, retro scale, you can also adjust a different retro scales for the old bands. And here we can see the hardware setup, like a battery indicator itself, charge battery show, warning about exit of limits value of battery. These all features I have turned on. Encoder reverse, I have turned it on. Half-step encoder, automatic antenna switching, and antenna FM. So here we have a decoder settings. You can turn on the CW and Digi decoder, or turn this feature off. Decoded data sent to COM port. Felt help picture smoothing. And here we have a Wi-Fi setup I showed you previously. And the configuration of the memory, so you can restore the configuration, you can save the configuration and reset to factory default. And here, release the license key or update from file. I didn't try that yet. And that's it. So this is the menu system of the new ATS-25 Max-Decoder. I found two dislikes on the ATS-25 Max-Decoder. It is no FM modulation on short waves like a CB radio. The second one is there is no preamp like in 120 or ATS-120 receiver. A preamp like LNA means an additional preamp or amplifier. This amplifier is missing on ATS-25 receiver. But there is also another thing what I would like to mention, and this is a very common problem on all the Arduino based receivers with these nice color displays. The noise, the high pitch noise, which is picking up on an internal antenna. Actually, if you use this radio with the whip antenna, as right now I do, you can notice the high pitch noise like this. And if I turn off AGC, the noise is a little weaker. Okay, so this noise completely disappears when I connect an external antenna, like you will see in a moment. So I'm connecting my magnetic loop antenna, which is right next to my radio. There is no noise. This problem is very common on the all Arduino based receivers I had in the past, so I don't think that is something new. So now let me tune across the band and show you how this radio sounds like on its internal speaker and magnetic loop antenna placed right next to the radio. This, you can see how the CW decoder works. Signal is weak, so we are able to receive a lot of noise and decoder doesn't work properly. But you need a proper signal if you wish to decode properly or correctly the signals. So we're back in the single sideband, upper sideband on 20 meters.
Снимал, делал масштаб 1/2000 для проекта по регулировке и застройки. Так что Туманов мне очень знакомо. Да и... Через телефон, передаю на центр, через телефон. И она такая модная, передает. Радио 2 Зинаида Иван Павел, отвечает Ульяна Галина 5 Антон, дробь.
S86 portable, 5 NBR. Ouais, 5 NBR, 86 portable. Effectivement, je sais qu'un LiPo, j'avais gardé tout l'hiver, parce que 80 mètres, c'est plutôt l'hiver, là. Et j'avais fait un LiPo. Noi sono esperimenti da vedere, alcuni della lona, o poi secure calling, security X. Cargare out, scendere out.
Solamente con 100 vatios, 2 elementos per antenna, L'equipamiento è una...
On appuie sur la RTTY de la Costa Brava en tout cas. Bon, donc on a essayé quand même de faire quelques pics sur les cailloux, etc. Là. Des chemins de cailloux là, sans bitume. Donc ça...
Die Ira, die ist jetzt am Montag schon in das Gymnasium gekommen, Anatol, in die Klasse 5 des Gymnasiums. Man kann es nicht glauben, wie schnell die Zeit vergeht. Noch war sie im Kindergarten, jetzt geht sie schon ins Gymnasium, also das geht so.
جوانب شتى من بغداد محمد حميد CGTN العربية.
Abdulkadir Mahuta da Sanusi Maɗatai da Magaram da yayanka kace Tijjani Gar Malam da Fa'iza Muhammad Mustafa da ɗaukacin mutanen garin Malam Shagari da fatan dukkan su sun ji kuma suna cikin koshin lafiya. Kati na gaba naka ne Sani Muhammad Cindo unguwar Garofin Madaki a jihar Bauchin Najeriya inda kace kana gaida Aminu Adamu Malam Maduri. Radon Talatu Goma Annabi da Ibrahim Esma Kwata Zaria da Sanin Shaga Kofar Kaura Katsina da Habib Ibrahim Central. Emphasas punon kaj disciplinon, tamen ĝi havas konfucianan emfazon pri komplekso kaj kontemplado. Ankaŭ al la praktikeco kaj komuna saĝo. Aliflanke, taoisma filozofio estas pli multe fleksibla ol konfucianismo en multaj flankoj. Hát a jövőképünk képességet be kell építsük az oktatásba, és szerintem vannak új képességek, amikre válaszokat kell adjunk. Mi azt mondjuk, hogy a MOME-nek célja az, hogy a jövő kihívásaira most ehhez nem csak a jövő kihívásait kell értenünk, hanem azoknak a komplexitását. És ha rájövünk, hogy sokkal komplexebb a világ körülöttünk, a komplex világhoz komplex kompetenciákkal és tudással kell hozzáállnunk. És szerintem ez az, amit most a fejlesztési folyamat.
This noise is coming from an internal antenna, or actually I connected the vertical whip to a BNC connector, and this noise is coming from that. It's coming from the screen. Okay, so this was the ATS-25 Max-Decoder receiver for everyday use on short waves and also FM band. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you wish to find the link for the purchase of the radio, you can find it down in the video description, so check that out. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to hit the like button if you like my content on my channel. I will be very happy. So, wish you 73 and hope to catch you again next time.
Lima Oscar Hotel 66 to Delta Alpha, go ahead.